everyone. Welcome to JNUC 2022. My name is Jesse Dresselhaus. Whether you are watching this from home in September virtually with JNUC, in sunny San Diego with us as you are in between other sessions or back at your hotel room, or maybe it's the middle of January and it's super cold and you just want to relive some JNUC moments, welcome to the session. My name is Jesse Dresselhaus. Like I said, I'm a field sales engineer here at Jamf based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. A little bit about me: love to travel. Looking forward to being in San Diego at JNUC and adding on a little bit of personal travel to that. I've been all over the country. Previous role here at Jamf was as a pro services engineer. If we've connected at all, I'd love to say hi. Did jump starts and engagements all over the country and all over the world, actually. So love to travel. Huge foodie. Love restaurants and cooking and kind of the science nerdy side of cooking. And yeah, been at Jamf for about 5 years. This is my third JNUC that I've gotten to present at, and the first one in person. And so you're seeing me recorded here at home, but I'm also getting to present in San Diego as well. So if you're joining us in San Diego, come find me. I'll be at the industry booth. Come say hi. Super excited to be here, and would love to connect with anyone who wants to connect after this. But let's get to the business of what we're here for. So my presentation is titled Better Together. And it's because I truly do believe that here at Jamf, we can help organizations succeed with Apple even better when we look at Jamf as more than just an MDM, more than just a management solution, but rather an entire portfolio of products and offerings and solutions to solve some of your daily problems. And so today we're going to talk about some of those workflows and some of the offerings that we have to help you combine different things in our portfolio together for some pretty cool workflows. So our time together today is going to be broken up into 3 different sections. We're going to start with some fundamentals and some basics, but then we will spend the most of our time in the kind of that 300 advanced level type workflows. I think that's what the session is set as, at least. So if I said something different, I apologize, but we're going to spend our time in the 300 level and looking at some of those more advanced workflows. But let's start with the fundamentals first. And you might say, why start with the basics? Why start with the fundamentals? And I've got a quote here from Draymond Green. And yes, did you ever think you would be watching a JNUC video and getting a quote from Draymond Green? Probably not, but I figured, you know what? I like basketball. We're in San Diego. LA's just a little bit away, and then why not? But anyways, Draymond once said, in the NBA, there's always a guy who he's only around because he can jump. He doesn't have a clue about the fundamentals. And Draymond goes on to say, I learned more from the WNBA. They know how to dribble, they know how to pivot, and how to use the shot fake. And so I think the same can be the case with our tech, and the same can be the same case with Jamf. We got to start with the fundamentals. We got to start with what's basic. Because if you're anything like me, I know once in a while I'm working with someone and they'll show me something and be like, wow, I feel super stupid. I've never seen that before, and it seems like so basic, and that's going to change what I'm doing. So let's start with the fundamentals. And so fundamentally, Jamf seeks to help organizations succeed with Apple by managing and securing Apple at work. And so what does that really mean, and what does that really look like? And so starting with the management side of things, it's really built around 3 products. We've got Jamf Pro, we've got Jamf Now, and Jamf School. Jamf Pro is probably maybe what you're most familiar with. It's that enterprise level, IT professional level management solution that you can use to push out profiles and policies and applications and keep your iPhones and iPads and Macs and Apple TVs up to date and managed exactly how you want them. Jamf Now can do a lot of the same things. It's a little bit simpler for that small to medium-sized business. And Jamf School is purpose-built for the education environment. But today we're going to focus on Jamf Pro. Now, for the security side of things, Jamf has a couple offerings and has really been adding a lot of cool functionality within the last few years. So first off, we've got Jamf Protect. That's a security solution that's purpose-built for the Mac. It's not going to leverage some third-party agent or some built-out agent that's going to take up 30-40% of your CPU, but it's leveraging built-in tools like Protect and Gatekeeper to really maintain that great user experience that you know and love on the Mac. Jamf Connect helps you apply the IDP of your choice. So, Google or Okta or Azure or Ping or whatever OIDC or RPG identity provider you're using to both create accounts and keep those passwords in sync on your Mac. We got Jamf Safe Internet. That's a purpose-built content filtering and network threat protection tool that lets schools deliver a safe and a robust online experience for students. It's super seamless, it's super simple, and it values student privacy. Next up, we got Data Policy. Helps automate, enforce, and manage content filtering and data consumption. We've also got Private Access. It's a modern ZTNA or Zero Trust Network Access solution that replaces your old school legacy enterprise VPN. And then finally, we've got Threat Defense. Threat Defense helps secure your users and devices and organization from network level and network-based threats rather than device level. So we got lots of cool things. Would love to talk to you more about some of those or connect you with some people from our security team. But today we're going to focus on probably the three most common and most loved and most popular tools in our portfolio, at least right now, at the time of this recording, which is Jamf Pro, Jamf Protect, and Jamf Connect. So let's focus on those three, and let's move past fundamentals onto kind of some basics. And when you think of basics, the first thing that comes to mind, for me at least, is, well, we got to deploy the thing. We got to figure out how to get it to our users, get it to our computers and our endpoints, and actually make it usable and make it work. And so when we talk about deployment, Jamf Protect and Jamf Connect, they can be deployed in a wide variety of ways. You can install them using the MDM of your choice, whether that's Jamf Pro or something else. You can deploy Protect and Connect with any other management tool if you're not using Jamf Pro. You can even install them manually if you want. Basically, all you need to do is you need to install some config profiles, maybe some certificates, and run an installer. And that's how you deploy Protect and Connect. But unique to Jamf Pro is the integrations that we have with those things that really make things seamless, and the ability to install these products natively and automatically using Jamf Pro. So with Jamf Pro and Jamf Connect, you can actually create those Jamf Connect configuration profiles right within Jamf Pro. And so you don't need to worry about, writing your plist files or using the Jamf Connect configuration tool or anything like that. You can create those profiles right within the Jamf Pro interface. Once those profiles are created, Jamf Pro can automatically deploy the Jamf Connect installer to computers in scope of the profile, as well as keep them up to date. And so you don't need to worry about packaging the installer or making sure your installer is always up to date if we release a new version or anything like that. I know in the past I've looked in my downloads folder and I've sorted by name, and I see, Jamf Connect 2.9, Jamf Connect 2.10, Jamf Connect 2.11. It's just like so much clutter, and being able to clean up some of that stuff is just really nice. And so let's take a look at what that looks like. And so we got a little video here. We're seeing inside Jamf Pro. We're going to move on to configuration profiles on the left side, and we're going to see this Jamf Connect Okta profile that I built out. And so within that profile, like I said, we can build that Connect configuration right here. And so we've got Okta defined, we've got the URL, we got some other things defined for that profile. And moving up to scope, you'll see we've got it deployed to all computers. Now, if we move into settings, Jamf Applications, and Jamf Connect, we'll see that profile as well as two other Jamf Connect profiles listed here. We'll edit that profile and we'll choose to automatically deploy that installer. We'll choose the version that we want to deploy, as well as what we want our upgrade criteria to be, whether that's a manual upgrade or minor versions, major versions, all that. Hit save, and we'll see that this is then going to automatically get deployed to the scope of that profile, which in this case is everyone. And that's it. So you make your profile, you define your installation, and there is no step 3, like we like to say here at Jamf. So that's Jamf Connect. Pretty cool, pretty awesome. And yeah, makes it really easy to deploy when you use Jamf Pro. Moving on, we got Pro and Protect. And so there are a lot of similarities with how Pro and Connect work. But there are a couple different differences because, first of all, Protect is actually using and has its own GUI and own cloud-based interface as well. And so there are a couple of additional pieces here. But similarly, we get to make the profile, make the configuration, and you leverage Jamf Pro to automatically push that out. So let's see what that looks like. Because Protect does have its own interface, its own GUI, we do need to get that integration working and set up. So we got to define that here in applications. And so we'll enter in our URL, and it's going to ask for a client ID and password as well. And so that client ID and password we'll get from the Jamf Protect GUI. So we'll head into Jamf Protect. And on the left side underneath administration, we'll see the place to get that. We'll create a new record here and give it a name. And it'll generate an API client password that we can just see one time. We'll copy that, paste that into Jamf. Do the same thing with our client ID. And click Save. Once that's done, we'll see that we have the ability to automatically install the Jamf Protect agent, the ability to download that deployment if we want to. But then the cool thing is Jamf Pro is going to automatically pull in those Jamf Protect plans here as well. And so we can see all the plans that we've got created within Jamf Protect. They get pulled in here into Jamf Pro. And it's really easy then to click on one of those plans, to change the scope to see what's a part of that plan. It's like, configurations and certificates and different policies and stuff. And that's all here within Jamf Pro, even though it was initially created in Protect. And so super easy, super automatic, and just makes your life as an admin deploying Jamf Protect even easier. And so we'll change that scope for the profile, scope it out to everyone. Now everyone has that profile. The installer is going to get pushed down pretty quick here too, and we're good to go. All right. Let's move past the basics. Let's move on to something a little bit more fun. So we got some advanced workflows here. And so now that we've got Protect and Connect deployed, we might want to do some things with them. And in my opinion, you can't do anything worth doing if you don't have good data. And so with that, let's talk about extension attributes. And so extension attributes allow you to extend, pun intended, the inventory information that Jamf Pro collects either through manual or scripted means. And so what do I mean by that? So a manual extension attribute, that would be something that you would type in manually, maybe like a label or something that you want to enter into inventory, or maybe it's a drop-down menu, you want to select an option, but it's manually entered in. Whereas a script would be anything that you can imagine as far as data that's gatherable on a macOS computer via a script, you can pull into Jamf Pro. And so if you want to see if a file is present, if you want to see, the last time a user logged in with a certain name, you can do that. Anything that you can imagine and you can script or you can find on Jamf Nation, you can pull in with an extension attribute. And so let's see how that relates to Protect and Connect. So Jamf Pro can gather information from Connect and Protect via extension attributes and put them in the inventory. And so we'll head into settings again and go down to computer management and extension attributes. You can either click new and create your own, or I love the new from template option, which has a bunch of extension attributes that have been created and vetted by us at Jamf. And so we'll move down to Jamf applications, and we'll see that we've got tons for Jamf Connect. And a lot for Jamf Protect as well. And so these are all different pieces of the information that you might want to see and you might want to look at that relate to the Connect and the Protect implementation and deployment in your environment. And so we'll click on one of those. We can see the script that's being used to deploy that. We can change where the inventory field is entered. And the cool thing about seeing the script here is you can either audit it, you can modify it for your own needs, or if you're like me, I'm a little bit of a bash newbie, I dabble, but this is a great place to learn, because I can look at the script, I can learn things, I can be like, oh, that's how you do that thing. And so once that extension attribute's in place, we see that it's new here, and then as soon as that computer does an inventory update, that extension attribute value is going to get pulled in. And now we can use that value in reports or groups or other things within Jamf that we might want to use that information for. Cool. So extension attributes, great. And it really is the start of some really powerful automation, because we're bringing things in from outside of Jamf Pro, from locally on the computers into the inventory framework of Jamf Pro. And as you all know or may not know, once something is in an inventory, you can then use that for what might be the part of Jamf that I think is the coolest thing of Jamf, the best part of Jamf, one of the most useful tools we got, which is smart groups. And so what is a smart group? A smart group is a group that is smart. You can laugh at my bad jokes if you want, or you can just shake your head. That's fine. But a smart group is a group that automatically updates, automatically changes its membership based on a criteria, which a criteria would be some sort of inventory information. And so when that information changes and a computer or a mobile device meets the criteria of that smart group, it will automatically either enter that group or exit that group. And so you could have a group that looks for all computers that have a certain version of Jamf Protect on it. And once that version is on the computer, it will automatically enter that smart group. Once it no longer meets that criteria, it will exit that smart group. And so when you combine smart groups together with extension attributes, you can really do some really powerful things with automation, with configuration profiles and policies, because these smart groups can be scoped automatically to, or not automatically, but they can be scoped to policies or profiles so that you can make things happen automatically when other things happen. And so let's take a look at what that looks like specifically with Jamf Protect. And so Jamf Protect has the ability actually to update a computer record in Jamf Pro, an extension attribute value based off of an action that happens in Jamf Protect, which allows you to do some cool remediation. So right here, let's pretend for a minute that an organization has a problem with people running terminal commands and then trying to hide what they did. I literally made up the scenario. You can enter in the chat if this is a real world scenario that's happened with you or not, but let's just go with it. So in Jamf Protect, we have an analytic for that called Command History Deleted. And so that analytic is looking for any events that meet that criteria of a command history being deleted on the device, maybe someone trying to hide what they did in command line. And then what we can do is within that analytic, we can make Jamf Protect update an extension attribute, which then updates a smart group in Jamf Pro. Once that smart group is updated, we can then do any sort of remediation. You could throw a pop-up to the user. You could restrict access to certain applications. You could wipe the hard drive if you wanted to. Whatever you want to do based off of that automation, which is based off of an analytic of a potentially risky or a known threat happening in Jamf Protect. Being able to leverage those automations and have this, then that type workflows is super cool and really can help you up your security game. So since smart groups, like we talked about, can be used for scoping purposes, we can do all that automation, and we can even bring our friend Jamf Connect back into the fold. So as we talked about earlier, Jamf Connect, all it is it's a profile that gets pushed to a device and then an installer that gets installed. And so if you change that profile, you change how Jamf Connect operates and how it's configured and how it works. And so you can change those profiles on the fly. And so if one day you want to change, the background of the login screen, you can do that. You just push a new profile. But what you can do also is leverage smart groups and extension attributes to dynamically change those Jamf Connect configuration profiles automatically on the fly without IT interaction based off of security needs or vulnerabilities that are found within Jamf Protect. And so this next part, big credit, not big credit, 100% credit to a team of Jamfs that I was not a part of. Kelly Conwin, Katie McKay, Sean Rabbit. I believe they did a JNUC presentation on this last year. I'm just showing their video again because it's super cool and it fits this presentation perfectly. It's combining Jamf Pro, Jamf Protect, and Jamf Connect all together to automate and to really have a cool workflow that combines all three products together. So let's take a look at what it does. And so a user is logging in his computer. That's Jamf Connect, as you know it. And that user is going to run an installer that they found on the interweb somewhere that they thought looked cool. Little did they know that installer was malicious code. Not a good thing. It's being reported that it will damage their computer, and Jamf Protect is going to do its thing. So that thing gets blocked. That thing gets quarantined. But we have Jamf Protect set up to do even more in this case. Jamf Protect is going to feed that smart group in Pro and do some remediation. So they're getting notified via Pro that the computer has possibly been compromised. The computer is going to restart and get a brand new Jamf Connect profile on it that only InfoSec can then log into that computer with. That's all based off of the Connect configuration and based off of either Azure or Okta or whatever. We were locking that computer down to just those groups in either Azure or Okta or whatever your IDP is. And so even if that person wants to log into their computer, they cannot. It says only InfoSec can log in, and they are blocked from logging in. And so InfoSec gets this computer, they log in, they do anything that InfoSec feels necessary to make sure that this computer is secure, whether that's finding the compromised software, looking for other compromised software, looking for things that user was doing for education purposes, or whatever they need to do to make this computer safe and to protect company assets, they will do. And once that is done, they will open up self-service, find a policy that is newly scoped to them to clear those Jamf Protect extension attributes, which will then reset the Connect configuration back to what is normal and what is typical for this deployed computer. We can see that profile has then now got pushed out and shows up in profiles and system preferences. InfoSec is going to log out of this computer, return this computer to its user and say, you're good to go, continue on your day-to-day business doing whatever it is you need to do, and they can now log in successfully and do their job. So, combining Protect, Connect, and Pro together, super cool things. Leveraging smart groups, extension attributes really get you that automation that can make your life a lot easier and can make your environment a lot more secure. There are tons more cool workflows that we could come up with that would take this past the 300 level. I've started brainstorming some myself. You might see some coming either in a blog or a GitHub or something somewhere. And I'm sure you guys have some ideas as well. Feel free to throw them in the chat. But for the sake of time and for the sake of keeping this presentation in scope with what was promised, we are going to leave it here. Thank you so much for joining my presentation, whether it's in San Diego, at home, or wherever you are in the world. I hope you have a fantastic rest of JNUC 2022 or a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks so much. Take care.